I told you winter was over. I know we had that brief cold stinge, if you will, here in Central Florida, but for all intents and purposes, winter had said its goodbyes towards the back end of February. And now, as meteorological spring really hits the ground running, we're in for even more heat and still on the lookout for some much needed rainfall here in Central Florida. This is going to be the temperature outlook over the next 30 days for the month ahead of us. We're looking at a possible heat dome really setting itself up. And while the graphic here suggests we could have subtropical ridging over the Gulf Coast up into the Dixie Alley, Southern Plains area, this is going to naturally ebb and flow west to east, west to east. Right now, as a matter of fact, our area of high pressure is more so off the southeast and mid-Atlantic coast, which is helping to feed us those easterly winds, ramping up against the Atlantic coastline of our Florida peninsula and throwing some fast-moving showers our way over the next 3 to 5 days. This is going to be the story, I think, for the month of March. We may have some cooler temps trying to come down over the lower 48, but whether they make it down here, that's going to be the tricky part because this dominant subtropical ridge will be holding strong. Now, the reason I mentioned the ebbing and flowing in that area of high pressure, that's really going to direct where our rainfalls occur most of all. You can see here for the next 30 days, Climate Prediction Center keeps us in those tannish sand colors, which means below average rainfall is expected. And this is very concerning, because as we get deeper into the month of March and we continue to see our afternoon high temperatures go up, starting to flirt with the upper 80s, I'm wondering when 90 degrees is going to be in the Orlando forecast over the next few weeks. It's like putting Florida underneath a magnifying glass as the sun begins to beam down on us a little bit harsher as we get into the actual spring season. That's what's going to honestly ramp up the dryness out there and really pose that critical fire risk, whether the advisories or the outlooks are out for it or not. That's going to be an issue, I think, over the next 3 to 4 weeks we spend together, and it all hinges on where that high pressure decides to meander. But all in all, for the month of March, we could see some isolated showers and thunderstorms here and there, but no persistent feed of moisture. That's all going to be happening up in Tornado Alley across the Great Plains, where we've already got multiple days of severe weather forecasted. And I think this graphic here paints that picture perfectly. You can see the jet stream flow coming in out of the northern and central Rockies, that high pressure helping to direct tropical air around the western side of it. And we're going to get that channel right from Texas spanning all the way into the Midwest and lower Great Lakes. And then down there where you can see us in Orlando, trace amounts of rain, at least over the next 7 days. Going to be watching that very closely. All in all, for the month of March, it's really going to be cranking the thermometer, cranking the thermostat in Mother Nature's home. You can see here we're going to be well above the average in comparison to where we should be in March. Usually right about now, we're in the upper 70s on an average early March afternoon. We're going to be seeing the mid to upper 80s by this weekend, so you can tell that that magnifying glass I'd mentioned earlier is going to be directly overhead for an extended period of time, and I think a multitude of issues are going to unfold as we go through this month as a community here, tracking the fire risk, the drought conditions that now envelope the entirety of the state of Florida, which is historic in of itself, and then the potential for severe thunderstorms as the stronger winter/spring systems get going over the plains and rocket off towards the East Coast. The question remains how much of that actually makes it down here, because Lord knows we can take all the rain we can get.